of the most important things you have to learn as a trader is just because something is moving does not mean it's the stock for you. You've got to niche down so much to become a master at your exact playbook. For example, for me, I typically don't day trade stocks that have a float underneath 50 million shares. For those of you that don't understand float, think of float as the supply of the stock. It's the number of tradable shares in the market, so the less shares available, the more volatile the stock is. And of course, vice versa. So I want a lower float because typically that means it's going to be a more volatile stock. Now, for example, last week, and as you know, I trade live with my students every single day. And it was a bit slow one day last week. I forget what day it was. There was a stock that was running that I think had about a 200 or 300 million share float, which is just not in my playbook. And I had somebody in chat saying, why aren't we focusing on this? The reason why is because I know exactly what stocks I perform best on long term. See, what is moving today or tomorrow does not matter in the grand scheme of things. All that matters is how am I going to perform trading these stocks over the next, 5-10 years. If I was to execute on those stocks on a consistent basis over the next 5-10 years, would I see great performance? Or would I see better performance sticking to stocks in my exact playbook? For example, me, I love stocks between like $1 and $5 a share, but I'll even trade stuff up to $20 a share depending on the spread. The big issue is with a small float on some of these higher priced names, they can have a pretty wide spread, which of course stops you from taking major size because then you have slippage issues, you take larger losses than you expected. But again, it goes back to playbook. So to sum it all up, all of those big stocks out there making those big moves, it doesn't mean you have to go trade it if it's not for you. Figure out what stocks are in your sandbox and just stick to that. For example, I will not go trade a Meta or Nvidia or Apple because I'm not a large cap trader. It's not where I execute best. It's not my cup of tea. That's not my ball field. It's a completely different arena. Think of a baseball player trying to go play basketball. It just doesn't work. So just stay in your ball court and become the very best you can in the entire league.